Hello, hello. Now you probably knew this was going to happen. I've unlocked the lion, so of course what I want to do as soon as I've unlocked the lion is take it out for a training room test. My usual anti-air test. This time we have the Shokaku, one of the most common or most popular carriers in the game, the one used the most in competitive, and it's gonna be my opponent today. Of course, since I'm facing bots, I added 5 of them. Usually you can only face 1, but we have 5 of them, and we have the full anti-air setup. Now, even with full AA setup, the Lion has a pretty good concealment of 13.4. But what's important here is of course not the detectability range, but if you look down on that list, you can see damage by mid-range AA guns. 764 DPS on the mid-range, 107 on the long range. This combined of course is around 870, and when I focus fire planes, well, the mid-range gains a 30% buff, and the long range, because it is higher caliber, gets 100% DPS buff. In fact, you could probably run this setup and not take manual AA, instead spec something like fire prevention, and I think you would have a insanely strong anti-carrier build on this Lion. I only have manual AA for pretty much the shits and giggles, but I think running fire prevention instead of that would make this build superbly strong, because you still have really good concealment at 13.4, so it's a build that doesn't really have too many weaknesses, especially if you decide to queue up with a carrier player. And now here we have our first squad. Let's launch our fighter plane. Usually I would run a spotter plane for shooting smokes, but for the sake of testing now, I'm running a fighter plane. That is a lot of bombers. I doubt I'll be able to stop them all, but I'm at least trying to shred them a fair amount. Minimize the amount of incoming damage. And now our true focus pops up. The squads we have to really worry about, and that is of course the torpedo bombers. You can see how quickly this AA is shredding these planes though. It's pretty damn disgusting. Like, it's honestly pretty damn absurd. Like, holy shit, this anti-air is strong. Ah shit, I should have focused this one till the end, I think. Of course, using terrain to my advantage here. Some bombs are getting through. Can't be helped. Oh shit, wrong squad. Uh-oh, we're gonna eat at least one here. Or maybe not. Oh my god, the insane torpedo bits. No, we're gonna eat one. Okay, one is okay. Let's use our repair. See if we can deal with some of these. Some hits, not too bad. What, we shot down 53 tier 8 planes there? Or well, are they tier 8 or are they tier 7? It's hard to tell, but you can see just the type of AA this is. And so far, of course, I run the module that increases your survivability of the AA mounts and the secondaries. So you can see that I actually haven't lost any AA DPS yet. I've lost 0, even though I've eaten a lot of bomb damage. I haven't lost any AA yet. So that's of course the advantage of running that module, because the AA can be squishy if you don't run that. So if you're going to run any sort of AA builds, well, you pretty much should run that that module on your ship. More torpedoes coming through, more torpedoes being shot out of the sky. And I still have my heals left, that's the thing. See, I'm not too worried about the bombs and the fires, because, well, I can heal so much of it. So that's why it doesn't really scare me. Whereas the torpedoes are, of course, a much bigger issue, since that damage is hard to heal. Uh-oh. Bad timing coming around this corner, I think. Oh, my plane. Should be refreshing it. I've been too focused on focusing down these squads. Oh no, I'm gonna hit one at least. That's a shame. No flooding though. Oh no, I'm eating multiple now. Uh-oh. Man, this torpedo belt though. I'm surprised at how low, that I haven't gotten a single flooding yet. Let's pop our heal. The heal is of course pretty damn absurd. There's our first flooding, but it came just as most of the squads got shot down, so it's not really that big of an issue. Come on, torpedo bombers, down it please. Thank you. I should be focusing that one, too late. Focus this one. When I get closer to this island, use terrain to my advantage, so they have a struggle dropping their torps on me. Let's focus on this one as well. Sorry if I'm being a bit quiet, I'm focusing on all these squads being taken down. There we go. I got 2 fires on me. Annoying, but not really that big of a problem yet. Another 30 seconds and I got my repair up. Another 30 seconds and I also got my heal up. If I had Jack Dunkirk on this captain, you could probably spec for faster consumable usage, but honestly, how often? It's not like you have to deal with this kind of strike capacity against in an actual game. This is only in a test when I'm actually against 5 of them that I have to deal with this kind of stuff. Okay, we're contesting the enemy camp now. We use our repair and our heal, and of course you can see just the absurd amount I'm healing. That's of course the power of the heal. How much AA have we lost? See, we've lost some mid-range AA now, but considering how much damage we've taken from bombs and stuff, that's really not that bad. 582 AA left on the mid-range, which is still pretty damn insane. Oh shit, should be focusing. Not looking at AA, but focusing down the squads. Cannot afford to eat floodings right now, because my repair is on cooldown. Not that fires, wow, that's a lot of incoming, goddamn. Oh, I think we screwed up, boys. I think we screwed it up. That's what I get for looking at stuff. Yep, we screwed it up. Oh boy. I think they're finally gonna get me. I screwed it up towards the end. Was having too much fun looking at the stats and not paying attention. How much AA do we have? 409. I still had 500 mid-range AA alive at this point. That's insane. As just putting that module on seems to increase your AA survivability so much, because without it you tend to lose it quite often. But in this game, like, holy shit, how many planes did I shoot down? 174 planes I shot down. And this is against 5 goddamn Shokakus. I made it all the way to their base. I could have started shooting them if I wanted to. And that's honestly insane. This is 26 bombs that hit me. 26 bombs, and I still had 500 mid-range DPS, and all of my long-range DPS was still alive. So some people have made the argument that the AA is balanced because it gets easily destroyed. Well, that's not really true if you run the module, is it? Because you see what happens when I run the module. The AA still survives, and I shot down 66 dive bombers and 108 torpedo bombers. So holy shit, does this... like, this build is pretty damn scary. I mean, if you queue up with a carrier and you run this, holy shit, like the amount of area denial. Like, this is my full AA captain build, and I think you could easily on this one, you could spec out a manual AA, because once again, the Lion doesn't benefit too much, since it's only really these guns that are benefiting from it. And I think if you spec out of this and instead you get fire prevention, then this is a really damn solid Lion build, where you got a ton of anti-air and a ton of survivability as well. This is of course only a build that I would recommend if you queue with a carrier, or if there's some carrier missions going on, but if there is, this thing shreds planes. And of course module wise, well, I do run this one. This is worth noting, instead of that, so you do lose some reload here in order to gain this 25% DPS, but this one, auxiliary armaments mod, this is the one that gives you 100% AA mounts, and running this seems to give you such a huge boost. It seems to like help you cross some sort of threshold in survivability, where without it you tend to lose them quite easily, but with it you're suddenly able to have your AA survive a surprisingly long time. So other than this, I mean you could also spec stealth of course, but I think fire prevention instead of this would be a pretty damn strong anti-air build. Anyway, I'm of course, well, that was all for me for today. I'm of course going to be testing a bunch of this Royal Navy stuff. I'm working on my Conqueror as fast as possible because I want to unlock it before they nerf it. Hopefully they will nerf it, but if they don't nerf it, well then I'm just going to be farming insane stupid amounts of damage and hopefully making some fun commentaries on that one. That was all for me today though. I hope you guys enjoyed it.